feel free to ask any questions at any time. And again, forgive all the different places that I'm looking. So right now, what I am pouring is into a tea, moonlight tea, and I'm diffusing some uplifting essential oils. I'm doing this as part of like my own self-care. Just make my body feel good, make my living space smell good. Really helps my calmness. And I've been honored but also hesitant lately as people have come to me asking questions about what's going on right now. And I don't really want to feed into the fear. I've really been stepping back to let everyone process in their own way and not trying to mitigate that with heady astrology theories and forecasting, because nature is taking its course. And it would just be ego if I swore that I knew, or if I claimed that I knew. So let's talk about the transits. Which oils? I'm elevation. So citrus oils are really great for helping uplift if you are anxious or if you are depressed. This is the Joyful Blend from doTERRA, and I like it because it also has a lot of wood. So wood is for grounding, and then the citrus is for elevation, upliftment. And so thank you for all of you that are joining across all my channels. What is today? Today's a big day because we have the South Node and Mars conjunct with Jupiter and Pluto with the Moon. And this is on the eve of the spring equinox. And hello to everyone that's joining. And so as this is coming in, there is, let me backtrack. So I already said the setup of what the board is of the planets. When I speak about astrology, it is from the Vedic concept or theory that Gaia, Mother Earth, is in her own revolution of consciousness, and she needs the support of all the planets. Like, we think we need support, right? And we're shy to ask for support, but Mother Gaia has a village of planets that help her through her own shift of consciousness. And she's taken us on, and she can smite us so easily. Whether that is, I'm afraid to say some things because of the AI. So that's why it's a great time when AI is screening to break out your thesaurus and figure out how to say what you need to say in other words so that you won't be flagged. But in this time, right? Sickness is nature, there is I in wellness, but there is a we in wellness. And it's time now for us to forget these Darwinian social constructs that you are a strong human that is worthy if you make enough money. Because that is what led to capitalism, and we have to disintegrate that now, and it's been forced upon us, of that disintegration. Drink something. If you don't have something warm, I also have water. And of course, ask any questions. Where was I? So yes, we're coming to more cooperation, and that is reflected with Saturn dipping into Aquarius this week. And so a lot of you have been asking me like what to do. And with this conjunction that's happening right now, like we're at the very end of Pisces, everyone's isolated, the entire world is self-isolating. How apt for Pisces season. Pisces is also real sickness and infirmaries and hospitals and enlightenment. And there is no way that any animal on this earth learns faster than when they are reprimanded for their weakness. And that's kind of what's happening. Like, nature is poking holes and weakness, even in the structures, and that is what Capricorn is doing. Capricorn is about structure, and Capricorn is weak in Jupiter, or Jupiter is weak in Capricorn, mind me. But again, it is conjunct with the South Node and Mars and the Moon. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So here's this aspect of us that really wants to go forward. We have all these visions, and we're ready to create structure. We're ready to like get down and make these self-care routines and figure out how to make passive income and figure out how to make money. And then we're asking Jupiter, like, okay, how do we do this? Like, what kind of opportunities do you have for me? And Jupiter's like, yo, give me some space to breathe. I can't even speak to you right now. And so there is this dynamic that you can have when someone that you care about shuts down, and you can't get a response out of them, but there's this incessant need that you need this response, that you need this connection from them. And so our opportunities are taking space. Excuse me, drinking more than night tea. Our opportunities are taking more space. Alright, so that's just the dynamic between Jupiter and Mars, but what is the dynamic with both Jupiter and Mars conjuncting Pluto with the Moon? The Moon is that really emotional piece that I've spoken about. With it being Pluto. So people are very familiar with Pluto being death and rebirth and transformation. One aspect of Pluto that people do not speak about often is that Pluto is the god of wealth. And here's an aspect that gets really dirty about money, because people have this deep sense that money is evil, and that is because it creates destruction. That if you have enough money, if you have a certain amount of money, then you've had to do it, and you've had to get it by destroying something. And that's true with capitalism, that's true with beverage industries that have like taken that have harmed our world. That is true with even our clothing, how it's harmed our world. But when Jupiter comes into contact with Pluto, which happens, rarely happens, once every 12 years, it's this primal scream. And a primal scream of the birth of new consciousness. If you've ever been present for a birth, you'll understand what I mean by a primal scream. It's not the primal scream to die, it's the primal scream of life being renewed, of a new perspective ushering into the world. And it's dark, it's grotesque, it's not, we all really love the beautiful smell good, feel good things. I know I do. I have a moon that's ruled by Venus. So that's what makes me feel really comfortable. That's why I have my diffuser, and that's why I have my tea. But it's good to be hydrated, so please stay hydrated. That's really number one in immunity. Y'all are really not asking any questions. I would love that, or something. So, it's also in, I wouldn't even say these times are dark, it feels dark. It feels like we're being pressured through the birth canal. And then it feels like on the other side, there's hope that we have no construct of. It's an abstract hope. Usually when you have hope, you have some idea of how it's going to be structured. Like, oh, I'm going to be in this business arrangement with this person, or my love life with this person is going to look like this. There's always a structure when it comes to hope, and that's what is beautiful about hope. And the beautiful thing about the human spirit is that it can't be broken. We always find a way. There is that share of people in Italy and in Spain singing to each other on balconies, and there is a knowledge that when people are imprisoned and isolated from one another, they still found a way to make a language. That was very common in prisoners of war in Vietnam. Again, we just can't really be shut away because we're a social species. And so, hi Helen. Hi Elkie. And so, the reason why I can't give you a full direct answer of like, what do you do in this time, is because it's not up to me. We're all finding something new about ourselves. We're all finding an aspect about ourselves that's unborn. That is the gift. That's the truth. And so, you just do the basics. Keep your immunity strong, keep hydrated, eat well, and when you're in public, if you have to go in public, understand that everyone is vulnerable. You may feel healthy, but you may be a carrier. And so everyone has this vulnerable sense to them. Everyone feels spiky, in a group chat the other day, someone was really scared to hang out with people, and like, maybe we only need to hang out with people that we know. Maybe it's like we're treating everyone like they have STDs. No, xenophobia, don't do that. I'm reading a statement. Yeah, you're right. even if it doesn't always look like exactly what we want. That's the thing. It's not going to. That's why I'm not going to make predictions. That's why I'm not going to theorize. That's just using mental energy that none of us need to expend on theories and conspiracies. That's distracting. This time right now is a boon because we're not being distracted. We can choose to not be distracted. We can choose that more so than ever because of a multitude of things that give us distraction. Even how we make money or how money comes to us. It's all been a false construct. We look down upon hourly wage workers, yet they make up 75% of the economy in America. And so what happens when 75% of the economy of Americans that don't have a savings account because they're paycheck to paycheck, what happens when that falls apart? And you can't really point the finger of improper financial literacy anymore. So that really sucks for our government to swallow. Though I do laugh, and this is because I went to an Ivy League school, and I saw this, where the person calls their parents because they're like, I need $1,000 stat. And then the parent tries to tell them how to live their life, and they're like, but Dad, I'm a full adult now, and they got their hat backwards, and they're 18 and a half, And so I saw that a lot when I was in university, and now I kind of feel that the spoiled child is calling Daddy Trump for many. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, people. My mental health is okay. I just have a really twisted sense of humor right now. So, unless y'all have any questions or anywhere that you want me to go deeper, I'll probably just end it with how to stay prosperous. Because everyone's worried about money. There will be a way. And the only way that you will find the way that is possible for your situation is that you stay centered. That you say yes to any opportunity that comes your way. Because right now, most people are not in a position to say no to opportunities. And when you say yes to this opportunity, you need to be very mindful that you're doing it with your health in mind. Because everyone now understands the necessity for health, the necessity for the balance within each of our own biospheres. And Mother Nature is taking her own breather. She's taking her own balance for biosphere. It's only a few days, right, that there isn't pollution. That waters that have never been clear for decades are becoming clear. Nature knows how to balance herself. And we are rewarded. We survive because nature is balanced. Nature doesn't have to be hospitable to us. So in a way, she's giving us a boon if we want to personify nature. She's giving us a boon by making us stay in and making us take care of our own biosphere. Of course, you don't have residual income. I'm sure that you're thinking of that right now. I do have some residual income that's coming in because I've been building it for a while. If you do look at your bank accounts and you see that you can support business, support India, who's sponsored. No, not really a sponsorship, but I have tea from there, and they are local in Portland, and if you have money to give beyond groceries and beyond your rent and your bills, those that need it most are definitely the restaurants and definitely the small business owners, definitely your friend group. Amazon has stopped a lot of supplies. They've stopped supplying a lot of things, and they're trying to hire thousands of people. And that's just perpetuating the old economic system that's crumbling right now. They're hiring wage workers at a higher wage. They're hiring people for $30 an hour when they were only hiring people for $17 an hour a month ago. So they're hiring people for $30 an hour. They have money. You know that Amazon has money. And Amazon also owns Whole Foods, and they're asking like the Whole Food workers to give away their sick days. But they have money, and so our grocery stores are needed, and people who make us food are needed, and people who supply our tea, and people who supply our medicine, and our acupuncturists, they need money, you know. Interdependence. Community. And as Saturn goes into Aquarius, at the start of this solstice, I'll talk more about the equinox tomorrow. There's a lot of questions that are being asked. And that's not fun for Aries. The Aries season begins tomorrow, and there's nothing that makes the warrior that Aries is feel as incompetent as no mission. But take it one day at a time. Take it 1 hour at a time. And since there are no questions, I'm just going to send you all away with love. And thank you for everyone that came in and to listen to what I had to say. I will actually be here again tomorrow in the morning. I do prefer the morning. This morning did not work out as planned, but the equinox is exact tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific. And I'll be here. I'll be brewing more tea. I'll be chatting more. And do come with questions. That's what makes it so much better. Love you all. And stay blessed.